morning. Welcome to Leaders Get Jobs. My name is Jordan DiPantima, and I serve as a coordinator in the Wepner Center for Lead and Service Learning.
My name is Jennifer Fabricius, and I am the Career Center Liaison to the College of Engineering and Computer Science.
And it is our privilege to kick things off today to introduce to you our Vice President for Student Affairs and Enrollment Management, Dr. Corey King.
Good morning. Good morning. Go out. Oh, that was wonderful. Try that again. Go out. Thank you all for getting up on a Saturday. I know you all normally are up earlier than this, so thank you for, y'all didn't catch that, did you? I know this is a little early for people. You usually get up about noon or 1 o'clock, some 2 or 3, but welcome to this event today, Leaders Get Jobs. Let me just share with you for just a moment the importance of you being here today and what this means for you. Ultimately, our goal is to make sure that you graduate. How many of you plan to graduate from Florida Atlantic University? All right, there you go. Let's, one more time, and staff, if you see some hands not raised, we got to take names. Let's try it again. How many of you plan to graduate from Florida Atlantic University? There you go. How many of you are looking to get a job? All right, let me make the hands up. If you're not, hold your, all right. How many of you are looking to get a good job that pays well? All right. How many of you are looking to get a good job that pays well that disconnect you to some degree from your parentals or guardians? Well, I got all the hands up on that one, right? Well, Dr. King, they can pay some of my bills for the rest of my life. The purpose of this event today is to begin that roadmap to making sure you get the skills that are required through your experience at FAU over the next 4 years, 4 years, in order for you to go to the next step and get a job. Employers are looking for those academic and those soft skills that are important to you being successful in the workforce. Give you a bit of advice. Not everybody can go to a Fortune 500 company. Not everybody can do that. But there are companies that are local, that are beyond our state, where you can serve in so many different capacities. Some people may not know that Enterprise have accountants. Enterprise car rental have to have accountants. In fact, Florida Atlantic University has accountants and CPAs. So you will find that there are opportunities for you to get a job almost in any industry that would fit your passion and your profession. In this room today, we have teachers, we have doctors, we have lawyers, we have congresspeople, we have volunteers, AmeriCorps. We have people who are willing to work and dedicate their lives for service to others, and it starts here. So do me a favor, take this opportunity today to begin your journey to getting the skills that are required inside and outside of the classroom to make sure you get the job that fits your passion and your profession. And it's always good to aim high, to aim for those Fortune 500 companies and beyond. But notice in aiming there are so many other companies and corporations and school districts and businesses that can use your talents right where you are. So take advantage of it. We thank you for being here today. The Career Center, located in the building next door to this building, is here to help you. We have almost 20 plus full-time professionals who are here free of charge. Career Center specialists, experts to make sure that you are successful. So take advantage of this opportunity. Thank you for what you are about to engage in. Welcome to Florida Atlantic University. Get that degree, get that job, get that vocation, and go Owls.
All right, thank you, Dr. King. All right, so thank you all for being with us here today. We are here to talk to you this morning about, you guessed it, how leaders get jobs. A recent survey of business and nonprofit executives published by the Association of American Colleges and Universities reports that today's employers are looking for college graduates who can think critically, communicate clearly, and solve complex problems. Also, who can demonstrate ethical judgment and integrity, intercultural skills, and the capacity for continued learning. Today, you'll hear from 6 fellow FAU students and alumni about their experiences here at FAU, how they were able to develop soft skills through their involvements, and how these opportunities help shape their career path. While you're listening to these speakers, I encourage you to think about your own academic and career goals. And this starts with your Success Network right here at FAU. Hopefully you've heard of or engaged with your Success Network by now, but if not, please just know that there's a team of FAU staff and faculty here that have been indicated for and identified for each one of you to help you transition to FAU smoothly and make sure that your time here is successful. Make sure that you connect with that Success Network if you haven't already.
Today is your choice. It's your choice to be a leader because leadership is about action. It is your choice to invest and engage in the programs and opportunities being offered to you. And that starts right now. So without further ado, it's our pleasure to introduce to you your MC for this morning. Tevin Ali is an FAU alum, currently a graduate student at Johns Hopkins University, pursuing his master's degree in biotechnology, enterprise, and entrepreneurship. Tevin hopes to become a leader, an innovator in genomics, and is also passionate about helping students find more than their academic and career path in college. His key to success focuses in finding one's personal mission, and that's why, in addition to his work in the biotech sector, Tevin works as an empowering speaker, inspiring others to become the strongest versions of themselves possible. Tevin has been featured in the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, the Stock Market Exchange, among other academia media outlets for his dynamically driven leadership and commitment towards empowering others. He was also named the 2017 State of Florida Student of the Year by the Florida Association of Colleges and Employers. So without further ado, please welcome to the stage Tevin Ali.
Thank you. Greetings, FAUs. How's everybody doing this morning? All right. Good morning and welcome to the Leaders Get Jobs event at How To FAU. This event is designed to empower you during your transition to Florida Atlantic University with a focus on career readiness resources and leadership development. This is our second annual event, and it's even bigger than the first. So on the count of 3, I'm gonna need you to make some noise. 1, 2, 3. Oh, ho, ho, that was good, but I think we could be great. On the count of 3, make my eardrums ring. 1, 2, 3. All right, hey, now that's what I'm talking about. So, this morning, you will hear the stories of 6 current FAU alumni or students who had an incredible FAU journey and are now influencing the world in their own unique ways. Just to emphasize, these speakers are FAU students of days past who successfully navigated the journey you are about to embark on. It feels like just yesterday that I was sitting in the seats that you are sitting in right now, and now I'm a current graduate student at Johns Hopkins University. Our journey started in the very seats you're sitting in right now. Each speaker will represent a specific NACE competency skill. So by a show of hands, how many of you knows what NACE stands for or knows what NACE is? All right, quite a few of you, all right, but that's okay. I didn't know what NACE was either when I entered FAU. NACE stands for the National Association of Colleges and Employers, and they have identified 8 key competency soft skills, which are soft skills ranked by employers as the top skills to have when entering the workforce. I do hope you heard that. These are the most important soft skills you should possess after graduating from Florida Atlantic University. Graduating with a degree is incredible, but graduating with a degree and these soft skills at hand will take you from ordinary to extraordinary. The most renowned doctors, surgeons, and scientists, they all are adept in these skills. The cream of the crop lawyers, CEOs, and business leaders have all mastered these skills. The well-known artists, actors, architects, and authors, they all excel in these skills. And the remarkable teachers, programmers, and trainers, they all are familiar with these skills, and they make an incredible impact in the lives of others. We want to emphasize that this event is about you. Myself, the speakers, and the many FAU staff in the audience are here to guide you to your dream career and introduce you to the NACE soft skills to help your transition to FAU. These soft skills will help you graduate from Florida Atlantic University not only with the major, but also with the mission. As you walked in, you received an FAU Spirit card with a red and blue side. Can you show me those cards? Wave them in the air for me. All right, there we go. You guys possess those. So, the purpose of those cards, throughout today's event, I will ask you to respond to a question with 2 answer choices and ask you to hold up the card showing me either the red or the blue side. The red side will represent your first answer choice, and the blue side will represent the second answer choice. I will tell you both options, so you don't need to worry about that. Let's do a practice run then. So get ready in your mind. Don't put up the cards yet, but here's the question. So you're going to raise up red if you're living on campus, or you're going to raise up blue if you're a commuter student. So let's try it out. Hold up the red side and make some noise if you are living on campus. All right, wow, we got a lot of on-campus students. Excellent. All right, cards down. Now, if you are a commuter student, represent and hold the blue side. Let's go. All right, commuter students represent. I was a commuter student as well when I was at FAU. All right, so nice job. You get the gist of the cards then. So each of the individuals you will hear from today will be talking about their FAU journey and how their involvement in FAU contributed to them having a successful career. I ask that you listen intently to each speaker. Each of these speakers have successfully navigated the journey you're about to embark on. So, let me hear, are you ready to get started? All right, so without further ado, let's get started with our first speaker, representing 2 soft skills, critical thinking, problem solving, and leadership. We have Ken Yu. So, Ken, a little bit of background on Ken Yu. Ken Yu is a graduate student at Florida Atlantic University, pursuing a master's degree in higher educational leadership. He currently serves as a graduate assistant for the Mentoring Project. Ken Yu is a Haitian American, first-generation college student who immigrated to the United States in the early 2000s. With the motivation of providing for his parents and future family, he seeks to further his education in any way possible. As an undergraduate, Ken Yu found it imperative to his personal development that he seek out the mentorship and guidance of leaders on campus. He became a scholar of the Urban Male Initiative, a brother of Progressive Black Men, Inc., and a brother of the Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. Through various organizations, he learned the value of creating valuable support network and surrounding oneself with individuals who wish to create positive change in the community. While searching for his own purpose, he found that creating meaningful, lasting relationships with others can also broaden one's perspective of self, while creating a positive impact on the world as a whole. Without further ado, help me in welcoming to the stage, Ken Yu!
They say that one isn't born a leader, that one isn't born with the ability to change another's way of thinking, feeling, or being. But we are born with potential. What you choose to do with that potential, or have the opportunity to do with it, defines your life and your legacy. Good morning. My name is Ken Yu Moiso. Ken Yu as in, can you do this, can you do that? I'm a graduate student here at FAU, starting my first semester in the master's program for higher educational leadership. And I have the pleasure of being a graduate assistant for the mentoring project here at FAU. Now, my journey to FAU started pretty much like everybody else. It was incredibly unexpected, but absolutely worthwhile. I came to FAU with the goal of graduating, getting good grades, maybe making a few lasting friends. Unbeknownst to me, in these 4 years, I was equipped with tools and experiences that would mold me into the leader that people seem to think that I am. I mean, I guess that's why I'm standing in front of you today. Leadership and critical thinking. Two essential components of creating action towards a greater purpose. For me, that greater purpose is helping as many people as possible. Now, I never thought of myself as a leader, but I found myself surrounded by people with those classic characteristics. You know, the charisma, the ambition, the tenacity, the calm. I found myself surrounded by people who wanted better for themselves and others. I found this especially in my organizations. For example, in Progressive Black Men Incorporated, I found a brotherhood and support system that only grows stronger by the day, but I also got my first opportunity to be on the executive board for an organization. It was eye-opening. I was finally able to have a voice in how an entire organization would be operating. It taught me responsibility and humility. I wasn't only speaking for myself, I was speaking for my brothers as a whole. Now, that brotherhood led to another brotherhood, a more widespread and historically established one. I became a brother of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, the undisputed Upsilon Theta chapter. Here, I got the same support, but I also got the opportunity to travel and meet leaders of varying ages, varying disciplines, who, leaders nonetheless, but I could still call them brothers. These two organizations gave me the first opportunities for me to become someone who could learn from, grow with, and inspire others to become leaders. From event planning to community service, we wanted nothing more than to have a positive impact, create a positive culture on our campus, ultimately the world. Now, a leader doesn't have to be some self-imposing, absolutely sure of themselves type of Jane or Joe. A leader doesn't have to have those classic characteristics that I said before. A leader is simply someone who believes that there is possibility for better and has the willingness to make it a reality. Right? Now, in times of hardship, people look up to leaders. In times of distress, a trait like critical thinking has true importance because a single action means nothing if you don't create more opportunity from it. A trait like critical thinking, being able to adapt in any situation, it's invaluable. But don't worry, it comes with practice. That practice for me came through getting involved. Surrounding yourself with people who have similar goals and ideas like progress or change. Together, you can make great things. And those great things could inspire other great things and make greater things. Honestly, let's say something. College is a business. We pay for it. But it's more than just graduating. It's more than just getting good grades. This is one of the only times in your life that you will be surrounded by so many people who are trying to make the most out of their lives. So involving yourself with your peers, involving yourself with your community, involving yourself with your campus, that could honestly be the first step to you becoming a leader who can critically change the world. Thank you.
Awesome job, Ken. You give him one more hand. That was a great way to kick us off. All right, now back to those cards. We're gonna tackle the critical thinking and problem solving skill first. So I want you to think about, how do you solve problems? Do you like to dive in to get started right away? Or do you like to take a step back and plan and reflect? How do you solve problems? Hold up red if you like to dive in straight away and get started. Hold them up high, let's see. All right, quite a few of you. All right, cards down. All right, hold up blue if you like to step back and make a plan first. All right, we got a good mix in the audience here. Diversity is great. Awesome job. So ways you could deeply engage in critical thinking and problem solving on campus include the same way you decided in determining your major. See your academic advisor for problem solving as well, and you will encounter this skill throughout all your FAU journey. So let's talk about leadership now. So some say leaders are born, while others say leaders are made. I want to hear what you think. Do you think leaders are born or leaders are made? Take a second to think about that. And raise your red cards if you think leaders are born. All right, we got a few of you there. So blue, do you think leaders are made? Raise them up proudly. Oh, wow. All right, so we think leaders are made. Great, great. Leaders are made. You could develop your skills here. And a great way to get started is being involved with the Wepner Center for Lead and Service Learning Office. And something you could register for that's happening next month, actually, is the iLead Student Leadership Conference. This is the 11th annual conference FAU is hosting to develop your leadership skills on campus. It's free for students, so definitely take advantage of that. It's on the weekend of September 28th, 29th, and 30th. So definitely take advantage of that. Envision the type of leader that you want to be, and utilize your resources at FAU to make that vision into your reality. So now we're gonna move on to our next skill, which is the global intercultural soft skill. We have Mr. Michael Cepeda representing that skill. So Michael Cepeda is a FAU alumni from the class of 2015. During his time at FAU, he was involved in several student organizations. He was a founding member of the Lambda Tau chapter of the Sigma Chi fraternity, a member of the Owls Care Health Promotion Program, an orientation leader with the new student orientation department, and served in various roles within student government. And get this, he even served as a student body president of Florida Atlantic University from 2014 and 2015, and was a member of the FAU Board of Trustees. Without further ado, help me in welcoming to the stage Mr. Michael Cepeda.
Thank you, Tevin. Appreciate it. How are we doing, Florida Atlantic? How's everyone doing this morning? All right. I know a lot of us have been sitting down for a while, so we're going to do a very quick exercise. Everybody stand up real quick. We're going to stand up real quick. And get the blood flowing. Get the blood flowing real quick. All right. Now this side over here, we're going to do a quick school pride chant, okay? This side over here is going to say let's. This side over here in the middle, all the way down there, is going to say go. And then on that side, we're going to say owls. Sound pretty easy, right? So we're good? I'm going to point at you and we're going to start. Are you ready? That side says let's go owls. We're ready.
Let's go owls. Let's go owls. Let's go owls.
Ah, got you guys. All right, thank you so much. Give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you for that. Thank you. Anyways, thank you so much. My name's Michael. I graduated Florida Atlantic University in 2015. I was a double major in political science and communication studies, and I really wasn't sure what I wanted to do with my life after graduation. I knew I wanted to travel. I knew I wanted to learn about different cultures. I knew I wanted to meet new people, but I really didn't know what that was in the sense of a career. So I kind of, after graduation, sat down and started looking for jobs, and eventually I found my current job. I work with JetBlue. I'm part of their marketing team. Who's flown JetBlue before? Anyone? Okay, we got a lot of hands. A lot of hands is good. For those of you who didn't raise your hands, it's never too early to start thinking about spring break. It's right around the corner if you really think about it. So I want to tell you a quick story about Cuba and when we first launched service to the island back in 2016, and how being culturally aware and respectful to people's norms helped us become a leading carrier in the island. So back in 2016, it was a company priority to start service to the island. We wanted to reunite families at an affordable price. Before this service, the only way you could go to Cuba was through charters, and it was about like $1,000 round trip, and it just wasn't sustainable for families. So it became a priority for us, and in the fall of 2016, about 2 years ago, we began service, and we were the first US airline to restart daily scheduled service to the island in over 50 years. And I remember that flight. We went to Santa Clara, and I remember being at the airport. I went and I spoke to one of the waitresses at the restaurant at the airport, and I wanted to get to know her a little better. I wanted to know how she viewed her life in Cuba and how she saw life in general. And we hear about it all the time in the news, about how life is in Cuba and everything, but there's nothing like speaking to those people there and getting their perspective. So we finished up a conversation, had a really great talk, and I learned that we're not so different and that we share very similar values. A lot of the team that was there with me, we did very similar things, and we took that information and applied it to the message that we sent to the people of Cuba on the island and here in the United States. And today, we're one of the largest carriers to the island. I'm proud to work for a company that values diversity. It's very important, especially in our industry, where it's very competitive, to have a diverse, talented group of people. It's really what keeps our planes full. In fact, earlier this year, JetBlue appointed Joanna Gagardi as president and chief operating officer of JetBlue, making her the highest-ranking woman leading a U.S. airline. And when she started, one of her immediate goals was to have more diversity in the company. And we're not talking about the traditional aspects of diversity. We're talking about diversity of education, diversity of background, diversity of experience, diversity of skill. It's important to have that in a company in order to succeed. We need to recognize all the cities that we fly to each have different cultures, different sets of norms, and we need to understand that. A marketing campaign that may have worked in Colombia may not work in Puerto Rico. So having a diverse group of team members helps us understand what the right message is and how to best differentiate ourselves from other airlines that do the similar route. When I first started at JetBlue, one thing that impacted me the most was their hiring strategy. They valued diverse people with different backgrounds. In fact, one of our former CFOs was an English major. Our executive vice president for marketing was an engineer. And one of our newest directors comes from Singapore, and we're really excited to learn about her experience, both personally and professionally, and how it'll help us evolve our brand for future generations to enjoy. I think when we sponsor marketing events in the communities, it's so we learn about our customers. We sponsor Caribbean Heritage Festivals, Hispanic organizations, pride parades, and all it is to learn about our customers and how we can further evolve our brand. I think FEU's biggest strength is its diversity. The next couple years, you'll be encountering so many wonderful opportunities, and I encourage you to take advantage of them. I was part of a founding member of the Lambda Tau chapter here of Sigma Chi fraternity, and I encourage you all to take a look at Greek life. Are any of you already thinking about Greek life, thinking about the opportunities with that? For those of you who aren't, I encourage you. It's fun. It's a great opportunity to learn about yourselves, meet a diverse and strong community, and how to be a better version of yourself. So take a look at that. And if I leave you all with just one piece of advice, is to get out of your comfort zone. It took me until my sophomore year to get out of my comfort zone. But once I did, I took advantage of everything, and it's been an incredible journey since. I know that sometimes things will get difficult in your time here at FAU. But remember, when it gets tough, the beach is only a few miles away. So thank you so much, guys. Have a great 4 years. Go Owls.
Yeah. All right. Give it up for Michael one more time. Michael has quite experience working for JetBlue and serving as student body president. So I hope you got some great insight from him. So let's talk about global fluency skill. So how would you like to build your global fluency and get used to working with diverse groups of people? Would you rather attend an educational training session, or would you rather join a club or organization on campus? Hold up red if you would rather attend an educational training session to build your global fluency. Raise them up high. All right. We got a few. All right, so hold up blue if you'd like to join a club or organization at FAU. All right, let's see those seas of blues. Hold up high. All right. Well, you're in luck. FAU has over 300 clubs and organizations, so you will definitely find something that will fit your description. So we encourage you to find ways to relate to your experiences and build connections with your peers while you're here at FAU. One of the ways you can get involved to build your global fluency is to be involved with the Office of Diversity and Multicultural Affairs. They host many events such as the We Lead Diversity Matters Symposium, the Homecoming Bash, and the Festival of Nations. So definitely a lot to get involved with here. So moving on to our third alumni, we have Rachel representing the oral, written, and communication skill. So Rachel was born and raised in South Florida. Rachel attended art school for both middle and high school, where she studied and developed a love for visual arts. However, her true passion was always been with the natural sciences, particularly with marine biology. Rachel began her Bachelor's of Science in Biological Sciences at FAU in 2012, and her passion then grew. Throughout her undergraduate degree, she was involved in various student organizations and research projects, both in and out of the water. Spring of 2015, Rachel attended the FAU Harbor Branch Ocean Institute Semester by the Sea program, while also beginning the Introduction to Honors Research program, where she learned to develop, execute, write, and defend a thesis program. She graduated FAU in May of 2016, summa cum laude, with honors distinction, and then went to be accepted into the Biological Sciences Master program at FAU, where she is currently studying marine invertebrate symbiosis. Throughout Rachel's undergraduate and graduate years, she held multiple jobs in education and also serves as a teaching assistant. She was actually one of my teaching assistants during my time here at FAU. Got you, Rachel. So without further ado, please welcome Rachel to the stage.
Thank you, Tevin. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. When the organizers of this event asked me to come talk to you all about communication, I thought, perfect. This is the best topic for me. And definitely not because I'm a good communicator, but because of what an awful communicator I used to be and how much I've grown. I started FAU in 2012, sitting where you all are today, wondering if there was a possibility I could get out of another one of these mandatory events, surrounded by people I didn't know, dreading one may try and start a conversation with me. Oral and written communication for me was on par with debating politics with that one belligerent, quarrelsome uncle, you know, the one who always has one too many drinks at Thanksgiving. I dreaded it. I avoided it at all costs. But as a scientist, it's one of the most important skills to have. And as an aspiring marine biologist, it was one I had to develop, and quickly. I achieved this through three major choices during my undergrad at FAU. The first was joining a student organization called SEEDS. The second was taking a course called Introduction to Honors Research. And the third was accepting a position at Manatee Lagoon. And each of those decisions opened the door to the next. My sophomore year, I joined a student organization called SEEDS, which is an acronym for Strategies for Ecology, Education, Diversity, and Sustainability. They have a goal of getting new students involved in research. I attended one meeting, I met some wonderful people, and they roped me into becoming a co-president of the club that very night. This turned out to be one of the most valuable resources for developing my communication skills. As a president, I had to lead the bi-weekly meetings, I had to table out on the breezeway and convince passing students to join the club, and I even had to meet with student organization administrators in order to create events and secure a budget for the organization. During my time in SEEDS, my informal communication skills developed greatly, as did my love of teaching. But my informal communication skills were still lacking. I joined SEEDS to get involved in research, to get my foot in the door, any project that would take me on. But be careful what you wish for, right? Because get involved I did. I got to volunteer on a research project studying the intestinal parasites of the gopher tortoises here at FAU. In other words, I got to collect tortoise poop. It wasn't exactly the research I had envisioned for myself, but it was a great learning experience. The graduate student whose project I was volunteering on suggested that I apply for the honors research program here on the Boca campus. So I did. And that's where the second decision came in. During the honors research program, I learned how to develop my formal communication skills, especially written communication, and I had to present that research to my fellow scientists both in the classroom and outside the classroom at conferences. The classroom is a great place to develop your communication skills, really to develop all of these soft skills, because everyone in your class is there to learn the same thing. Your professors are there to help you, and your classmates come from all backgrounds and all walks of life. And those different points of view are vital in developing your communication skills. Because once you become a professional, you get very specific in your knowledge and in your skill set, and it becomes a lot harder to communicate that specific skill set to those outside of your profession. And certainly not because those outside of your profession aren't as intelligent, just because they haven't spent years learning the same language as you, learning the language of your skill set. And I came into that problem during the honors research program, which is where my third and final decision to join Manatee Lagoon came in. Manatee Lagoon is a public facility where people can come and learn all about the manatee and their natural habitat. We can have anyone walk through the doors, from a seasoned veteran of manatee research to his granddaughter who's never even seen a manatee. And so working there developed my public speaking skills as well as learning how to communicate to different people. Nowadays, I love these kind of events. Surrounded by people I've never met, starting conversations with them and using those conversations to develop myself as a communicator and as a person. My only regret is that I didn't start sooner, because these soft skills are skills you'll never truly master, but will continue to develop throughout your life. So with that, I'll leave you with 3 tips that I've learned over the years. The first is that improvisation is key. For all you know, I forgot the entire speech the second I stepped up on this stage. But as long as you can improvise while communicating your ideas, they will come across effectively. The second is know how to pace yourself. Can anyone think of a way to take the spotlight off of yourself for a second and give yourself a break during a speech? Anyone? Ask a question, right? It takes the spotlight off of you and allows you to catch your breath during the middle of a talk. And the third and final, and perhaps most important, is be engaging and always know when to stop talking. Thank you.
Really great advice from Rachel there. Give it up for one more time. Definitely working as a biologist or a scientist, you really have to write in those reports and present your research all over the world, which is really exciting. So Rachel definitely has a lot of insight to give with oral and written communication. So let's get to our question here. Upon completing a project where you have to share your results, do you prefer to share it by writing a report, or do you prefer to share it by presenting in person? Raise up your red cards if you'd rather write a report. Raise them up high, let's see those cards. All right. So how about present in person? Raise up blue. All right, we got a good mix in the audience here. Great. All right. So on campus, there are a group of leaders called orientation leaders that excel in both of these skills. You may have come across one of them during your time here at FAU so far. And who knows, next year you might be an orientation leader and be on this stage. That's really exciting to look forward to. So now we're going to turn our attention to alumni Kenneth Stevens, representing the teamwork and collaboration skill. Kenneth Stevens is a Palm Beach County native that was born and raised in Boynton Beach, Florida. Kenneth received his undergraduate degree in psychology, represents psychology majors, from Florida Atlantic University, and he did his master's degree in educational leadership from FAU as well. Kenneth has a passion for sports and education, and Kenneth is a former college football player of Bethel University and FAU. Kenneth is also a proud alumnus of Boynton Beach Community High School and is now a world an African American history teacher at Santa Lucia's High School. Kenneth is also the co-founder of New Era Prep and founder of the KSJ Scholarship Fund. Kenneth is a busy guy here. So Kenneth enjoys reading, spending time with his family, and exercising during his free time. Help me in welcoming to the stage, Mr. Kenneth Stevens. Go, man.
All right. I'm here today because I failed multiple times. Before all of the great things that Ali mentioned, I had to go through a process to get there. And part of that process I went through, it was some things I like to call a gut check. So a gut check, it could be explained as something that makes you pause in life and think about what just happened. Or in some instances, it can be explained as a test of your willpower. My first gut check happened when I was in middle school, the 6th grade. I threw a punch that would change my entire perspective on life. I was facing battery charges because I knocked out 3 of a classmate's teeth at the age of 12. Yeah. This is when I checked myself. One of my former elementary school teachers came to me and told me he heard about what happened, and he was very disappointed. This was the first time I ever felt embarrassed. At such a young age, I didn't realize that what I did in school could follow me outside of school. But I stand here today grateful and thankful for that humbling experience and a community leader that cared about me and wanted to see me succeed. And I also want to thank my father for all of the life lessons and the act right sessions we had together. Thanks, Dad. Now, my second gut check happened December 29th, 2010, in the middle of my senior year of high school. My mother unexpectedly passed away due to both of her kidneys failing and being on dialysis treatment for 10 years. Now, as you can imagine, during this time period, I began to be fueled by anger, depression, and I even began to question my faith. But I was saved by my high school administrative team that forced me to go into group counseling, where I learned to deal with my grief. Now, group counseling also showed me that you need a group of people around you that want to see you succeed and get through tough times. Now, after counseling and being in those tough times, I was able to earn an athletic and academic scholarship to Bethel University, where I played my first 2 years of college football, and I earned my associate's degree. And then I transferred to FAU. Now, coming to FAU, imagine going from a university of about 6,000 students to 30,000 students. I did that, but I didn't do it alone. I did it with the help of an organization, the George Snow Scholarship Fund, and more specifically, a woman by the name of Pam Perrin, who was like a second mother to me during this entire process. And I'm thankful for that organization's financial commitment and mentoring. Now, when I got to FAU, I had this dream like any other football player. I'm gonna be a Division I football player. I'm going to the NFL. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care about nothing else, right? But was I in for a rude awakening? I tried out for the football team the first time. I did not make the team. That was a blow. I tried out again, and I did make the football team. But when I made that football team, something clicked in my head. I began to realize that football could afford me many opportunities outside of football, and that's when I started to get out of my comfort zone. That's when I became more resourceful, and I started networking at FAU and using all the resources around me. And that led me to successfully graduating with my bachelor's degree in psychology. Now, upon graduation with my bachelor's, I had another gut check. This time, I couldn't find a job. It's either I was overqualified, underqualified, or I fell somewhere in between. And many of you may experience this. And then I was working in low-income housing, getting paid under the table in the projects in unimaginable conditions. But then I had my breakthrough. And my breakthrough came in the form of a woman named Nora Berrigan, who works in the graduate office here at FAU. She helped me apply to graduate school, and I ultimately graduated with my master's degree in educational leadership. And although all of the degrees are great, and I learned a lot, I learned more about myself through collaborating with people of different genders, races, sexual orientations, and lifestyles. And I also came to realize that building healthy Healthy and collaborative relationships during this time period can be better than credit. Now, I want to leave you with 2 pieces of advice. The first one, get out of your comfort zone, seriously, because you can't grow there. 2, surround yourself with people that want to see you succeed as bad as you want to succeed in life. And I'll leave you with this quote from one of my favorite rappers, Starlito. Feed your brain and starve your ego. Anything is possible. Thank you.
Solid advice there from Mr. Kenneth Stevens. Give him one more hand, please. Kenneth's story is also a story about perseverance and teamwork and collaboration. This skill is essential. Any interview you go to, they will ask you, can you work as part of a team? Give us examples of you working on a team. This is a crucial skill. So, did you know that there are currently 25 clubs on campus? There's truly a club and sports thing for everybody on campus. So head over to Campus Recreation today to find out more about how you can get involved. So let's talk about this teamwork skill. So when you are working on a team, do you focus on the big picture or are you more focused on the little details? Think about that for a second. Big picture or little details? Which one do you classify in? So hold up your red cards. If you focus on the big picture, hold them up high. All right, we got a lot of big thinkers, big pictures. All right, cool. All right, cards down. If you are more caught up in the small details, raise up the blue cards. All right, good mix in this class. Awesome, awesome. Thanks for sharing your insight. Up next, with the digital technology soft skill representing that skill, we have Tamara Jean. Tamara Jean earned her Bachelor's of Science in Nursing from FAU College of Nursing. She currently works as a cardiac telemetry nurse at the Boca Raton Regional Hospital. During her time here at FAU, Tamara has always been heavily involved on campus. She was Vice President of Leadership, Omicron Delta Kappa, and historian of the Student Nurses Association. She's worked closely with departments such as the Lead and Serve Office for organizing alternative spring breaks, to hosting sessions at the annual iLead Student Conference held right here at FAU. Her involvement with campus organizations have allowed her to travel to Guatemala on mission trips and even Bangkok, Thailand, as a delegate of the United Nations Leadership Conference, where she interacted with 900 people from 70 different countries. When she's not serving the patient population at her job, she's finding creative ways to reach out to the community and motivate students like you to succeed in your endeavors. Please help me in welcoming to the stage Tamara Jean.
Good morning. Thank you all for coming out on a Saturday morning. So today I'll be talking about digital competencies. It used to be about who you know. Now it's all about what can you bring to the table. Digital competencies involve using technology to manage, share, and analyze information. Here at FAU, we want to make sure we set you apart from everyone else. We want to make sure you're the best and the brightest. In the classrooms here at FAU, I worked with the Wimberley Library, where I had librarians help me go through databases and journals to find the current research to present for projects. I worked on those discussion posts to learn how to have creative differences with my classmates. Outside of the classroom, I joined organizations. Anyone plan on joining a club, hobbies, interest, fraternity, something? Good. If I could give you a piece of advice right now, join a professional organization. I joined the Student Nurses Association. I got to travel to Guatemala twice a year to see over 300 kids in the rural areas and provide annual checkups. I went as a trip historian. My job was to take pictures. Not only did I take pictures, but I captured stories. I captured images of mothers who heard the heartbeats of their children for the first time. I captured the grateful faces of family members who had wooden stoves that would burn their kids, cause respiratory infections, and smoke inhalation. We ended up installing new Chapina steel stoves, and we reduced all those infections, inhalation, and burns by 60%. Not only did we do that, but we also captured the images of women who would walk for 2 weeks to get water and would never wash their feet. And you could see the gratefulness on their faces when we held diabetic foot clinics. In my job, I worked as a receptionist for the Division of Student Affairs and Enrollment Management in Dr. King's office. I thought my job would just be to be a receptionist. Plot twist, I ended up managing the schedules of over 5 different people in different areas. I worked with government officials, handled emails, and even learned how to professionally respond with, "Tamara speaking, how may I help you?" That takes you a long way, trust me. And I'd also end my emails off with best regards or I apologize for the inconvenience. That can help with professors and changing grades, trust me. In regards to departments, I knew I wanted to do nursing, but I also wanted to make sure that was my calling. At the Career Center, they have quizzes and techniques to figure out what you're really good at. Go see them. Anyone want to do an internship or travel the world or do research? See the Career Center. They'll help you. Anybody want to serve? Community service? Oh, trust me, all your hands should be lifted because you guys are missing out. The Lead in Service department has helped me so much. Anyone seeking a mentor? All hands should also be lifted up. Trust me, in college, I was sitting in the place that you are right now. I didn't have anyone to guide me, to tell me what to join or what not to join. But once I started getting involved, the departments became my mentors. There are students here with the FAU mentoring project. You can find a student who probably is in the same career choice that you want to do now. And they can help guide you into what to join and where to go and to give you feedback on how far you're doing towards progressing in life. Back to Lead and Serve, I was able to work with them to organize many different projects. They helped me organize an alternative spring break where I planned a trip with 9 total strangers to go to Roanoke, Virginia, a state that I've never been to go do community service for a week. That trip alone helped half of my team of 9 the next following year to go plan trips of their own. And you guys can do the same thing. I was able to present at iLead and host my own session. You all can do the same thing. But my biggest thing that happened to me was the opportunity to meet students like you who were interns at Lead and Serve. And these students, like you, were working with the United Nations. And I thought, how could I do the same? So I asked them. And they helped me apply, and I was one of 900 delegates to attend Bangkok, Thailand's University Student Leaders Symposium held at the United Nations. I was amongst one of 2 students here from FAU, and you could probably be also in the future. We discussed the UN Sustainable Developmental Goals on an international level and how to bring it back to the community. How does that help me now? As a nurse, a registered nurse at Boca Regional, I take what I've learned from the international level, the national level, from organizations, from peers, from my job, and from the classrooms to enhance my patient care. Whether it's calling codes, learning how to read doctor's notes, learning how to read labs to go save my patient who may be dying. These are all critical values I've gained from here at FAU. If there's one piece of information I want you guys to leave with, it's these resources are here for you. They're free. See the Career Center if you're interested. You should all be interested. Check out the FAU Mentoring Project. Check out Lead and Serve. Trust me, they helped me become a leader, not only get a job, but to get a satisfying career. Thank you.
Incredible advice from Tamara there. Give her one more hand, please. Did you know that the Student Accessibility Services Office offers assistive technology for students to help you with your studies? Definitely check out that office if you need technology help or to borrow technology. So, let's get to our tech question. As we know, technology continues to evolve at a rapid pace. Sometimes we can't even keep up with it. So, that being said, are you more of an early adopter, meaning you're always ahead of the latest thing? Or are you more of an eager adopter, meaning that you get on board quickly after the fact's been released? So, let me explain that again. Early adopter, meaning you're always ahead of the latest thing, or you're an eager adapter, meaning you get on board quickly after the fact. Raise up your red cards if you're an early adopter, always ahead of the latest things. All right. And raise up the blue cards if you're an eager adapter, you get on board quickly. All right, that means we must have a lot of iPhone 10s in the house then, right? All right. How's everybody feeling? Are we feeling good? All right, let's raise that energy level up for our next speaker. We have Michael DiEugenio representing 2 soft skills, professionalism/work ethic, and career management. So Michael currently serves as a Director of Development for Student Affairs and Enrollment Management at Florida Atlantic University. And his focus is majoring gifts of $100,000 or larger for strategic objectives for Division of Student Affairs and Enrollment Management. He's been in part of higher education development for over 13 years with expertise and has organized billion-dollar projects. He holds 2 bachelor degrees in management and marketing from Florida Atlantic University. Give it up for Michael!
Good morning, Als. I guess you're starting to get rowdy. It must have been the last name. So yeah, I'm Italian, so that's the thing with the hands in the pockets. I have to have my hands accessible. Do me a favor and give a hand for our faculty panel for coming out tonight, this morning. They're faculty now. They just got promoted and didn't know it. I'm sorry, there's no money involved, but you're faculty now. So yeah, I'm a double alum, proud of it, wouldn't have it any other way. I'm a Florida resident. We're kind of like unicorns. If you find one, capture one. There's like 10 of us. So I started my journey here many moons ago in 2006 and was very engaged in student government and Greek life, president of my fraternity, all that good stuff. But I say that to say this, when you reflect on it and they ask me to do this, you really kind of got to get your mind wrapped around what can you leave here today with all this chaos of orientation going on that will stick with you. And you know what's funny is the message was always the same back when I was in school, and it was you got to get involved. So what I'm speaking to when you're talking about career management, especially work ethic, that's something very personal to me because you know what, believe it or not, I don't have anything too crazy. I would be kind of in the middle of the bell curve, right, as far as the story goes. But I learned the one thing that can separate you from anybody else is work ethic, right? Life's that simple. I think one thing you can take out of here is it's just who wants it more. It's not cute degrees, it's not this, it's not that, it's nothing else other than drive. You heard a very diverse faculty panel speak to you this morning, and it's really the same thing. Everyone's just determined. But I do think that's a special thing about FAU that we all hold in common. If you look at this group, it's a very diverse group. But you all want to be here for a reason, right? And you all want to graduate, and you all want to be the best possible person you can be. But the one message I can tell you is you got to want it more than anybody else, right? But I think the cool thing is, if you look to your right and your left, you got someone that's going to go through that journey with you. I mean, we all graduated at different times and went through FAU at different times, but we can look back to our friends and everyone that else helped get us through it and realize that they went through this journey with us. So believe it or not, this session isn't so much about hearing us as a sage on the stage and talk to you about what you should do. This is more about your opportunity and spending time to reflect about what you need to do next in your collegiate career and really the next 4 years, the rest of your life. So a kind of funny story about me, I don't get too serious with these things, but I was younger, and in high school we couldn't walk across the grass, otherwise you went to detention. So, I thought that was odd, but I did it, and I still do it to this day, which is kind of weird, but it's a good reminder for me, right? And then I got to college, and when I was in Greek life, it was the same routine, right? Can't do it. So I'm like, okay, fine. Now as a grown adult, still don't do it, even though I go run across the lawn and no one could say anything. So the interesting thing I didn't know, someone told me until I was much, much older in life, I had developed this habit of never walking across the grass, always on sidewalks. They said, oh, Mike, it comes from the military, right? I'm like, no, I didn't know that. And they said, why? They said, there's no shortcuts in life. I said, well, that makes perfect sense. So it's kind of funny, as a kid, I developed this behavior of never walking across the grass. So anytime I see a sidewalk, it's a good reminder for me of yeah, there's no shortcuts. You just keep working at it. And I've also kind of learned at this point in my life, college is just a start. You're not done after this. So just kind of fall in love with the process of constant refinement and getting better and getting better and getting better. There's no overnight success. In today's day and age, we think it is. You see stuff and we think stuff happens instantaneously. It doesn't. If you study a lot of the most successful CEOs, business people, you name it, you have it, entertainers, they've been at this stuff for a lifetime. But the best thing about what you're doing here is you can start to develop those skills, practice them, refine them, just get used to the process. So that being said, I want you to do two things when you leave here, right? Number one, I would say not look at going Greek or joining a student club. I would say you should be Greek or join a student club. And number two, I don't know if Karen's here. There's Karen. We love Karen. Karen has access to your career. So her office is the second floor of the Student Services Building. And make sure to see her, because your journey doesn't start 6 months like mine did before you graduate college and say, oh man, I got to pay rent now, what do I do? Which was truthfully mine. Start a little bit sooner than that. So go see Karen. With that being said, give yourselves all a hand for being here this morning. So that's all I got for you. Thanks to all the orientation leaders. I know you guys worked tirelessly. Thank you all for being here this morning, and you're going to be amazing. Where's Tevin? He's
Give it up for Michael one more time. Great job. True conversational there. All right. So let's get on to work ethic. So when you consider your work ethic, what do you consider to be your top strengths? Are you more time and task oriented? Or do you specialize in communication and your relationships with people? So what are your skills? Are you more time-oriented or communication and relationship-based? Hold up those red cards if you are time and task-oriented. Raise them up high. Be proud. All right. We got a sea of red here. All right, if you're more into communications and your relationships with others, raise up those blue cards. Let's see them. All right, we got a good mix in the audience here. All right, so let's switch over to career management for a second. So think about your career. Envision your career 10, 20, 30 years from now. Envision where you want to go. So when putting your career together, do you more focus on your skills and your talents, or are you more focused on your knowledge and experience to build yourself up? Again, when you're thinking about your career, do you focus more on your skills and your talents, or more on your knowledge and your experience? Raise up red if you're more into skills and talents. All right. Some there. All right, cool. All right, raise up blue if you're more into knowledge and experience. All right, we got some knowledge and experience owls in the house. All right. So the FAU Career Center can help you with all of these tasks. Definitely pay them a visit. Now direct your attention quickly to the screens here. These are all of the organizations and offices you could be involved with at FAU. So definitely, there's something for you here. Be involved. Make a friend. Do it together. This is going to be awesome. Any one of these organizations. So we would like to thank all of our speakers and organizers from our event today. Please stand to be recognized. It really does take a village to put this event together. Please stand and be recognized. Give it up for our digital media team in the back and our DJ. Give them a hand. All right, I need a quick favor from all of you. So can I get everybody to stand really quickly, really quickly? All right, on one hand, can you guys give me an owl finger, owl finger? And on the other hand, raise up your blue or red card. All right, you're about to get in my selfie here, but you guys are gonna say leaders get jobs, all right? On the go, all right? We're not done yet, all right? Get ready, go! All right, make some noise! All right, so a few housekeeping items here. You will be dismissed shortly. Take your seats. Okay. So there's an assessment you need to take before you dismiss from the auditorium. Please pull out your phones. Yes, I did tell you to take out your cell phones and pay attention to the screens here. Be sure to complete this assessment so we get feedback from you. If you do not fill out this assessment, you will not get credit for being here today. So make sure you fill that out. All right? And keep in mind, this is a different assessment than you took the other day. So definitely fill it out. So take a moment to do that. And I'd just like to remind each of you that all of you are leaders. If you weren't, you wouldn't be here today. Utilize the NACE skills and hold on to those blue and red cards. Utilize them during your stay at FAU. After you guys finish your assessment, we will be dismissing for brief campus tours. If you're interested in attending a quick tour, please remain in your seats, and we'll have our orientation tour leaders come out and get you. All right, and we'd just like to thank you for attending Leaders Get Jobs, and we look forward to connecting with you. Again, my name is Tevin Ali, and thank you for having me serve as your MC today. And don't be afraid to connect with me or any of the speakers. We're here to help you. Thank you, guys.
All right, please stay in your seats. We are not dismissing yet from the auditorium. Please stay in your seats. All right, let's give it up one more time for your MC today, Tevin Ali. All right, right now you have a few different student groups joining your rows. We have resident assistants, elite owls, and orientation leaders in the house to help you dismiss. So if you have an RA or one of those student groups with the numbers 1 through 4, please stand and follow them out of the auditorium. 1 through 4.
Overall, okay. We did good. Okay. As long as I get your approval. That's all that matters to me.